All right. All right. Well, welcome to KPC. Saturday morning here. So glad to have you, and hello to people joining us online. So, this is the second week of a new schedule. So we are doing the Saturday meditations at 11 and adding in two more meditation techniques to our class. So the first thing we want to do is just to relax our minds and really focus in on our motivation for being here today. So what brought you here today? And we want to have that motivation in our mind and really expand that by generating compassion for all sentient beings. So wishing that whatever we learn today or whatever meditation we do, that it's for the benefit of all beings. So it's we call that bodhicitta, which is the compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. And so when we start with this proper motivation, it really determines the direction of our actions, and everything comes from that place. So we'll just take a moment to develop that in our minds now. All right. So we always start with opening prayers. So we'll do the 7-line prayer 3 times. We just do that in Tibetan. You can read along. That's on the front side of the handout that you have. Yeah, in the blue folder. Sorry about that. Yeah. And then I'll put it up on the screen here. There we go. So you can just do your best to read along or however. Organ yugi nu chamsam pemage sarumbola yasin shogi no drumne pemajune shesudra koryu kandro mambokor keki jesu dagdruki jinjilop shir sheksu so guru pema siddhihum Organ yugi nu chamsam pemage sarumpola yasan shogi no drumne pemajune shesudra koryu kandrom mampokor keki jesu dagdruki jinjilop shir sheksu so guru pema siddhihum Organ yugi nu chamsam pemage sardompola yasan shogi no drumne pemajune shesudra koryu kandrom mampokor keki jesu dagdruki chinchilop shir sheksu so guru pema siddhihum. All right. So in this class, again, we are going to do 3 different types of meditation to stabilize our mind and really open our hearts. And the first meditation we're doing today, like we've been doing each week, is called Shamatha meditation or calm abiding meditation. And each week we just want to, go over what is meditation? What's the purpose? Why are we doing this? Meditation is the natural state of our mind when it's stable, when it's open and relaxed. When the mind is calm and settled, that spaciousness really allows us to have a pause or kind of a buffer between our actions and our reactions. It helps us balance our emotions. It helps us deal with our life, whatever comes, our way. We can deal with that with a less agitated an inflamed mind. And we can be the one controlling our mind rather than it controlling us. And our mind is like a muscle. So, just the same way that we keep our body strong, the mind can be trained to be more calm and relaxed, and yet wakeful and alert. So, the whole point of shamatha meditation is to create more spaciousness in our mind. That's why we're here, to again have that stability of mind so that we can really develop that calm relaxation and non-reactive state in our mind. And that spaciousness is the first step in developing bodhicitta. Again, that's the compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So if we have no spaciousness in our mind, if there's no rest we give our mind, we can't even think about being of benefit in the world. We can't even think about how can we alleviate our own suffering and the suffering of others. So let's start. We're going to just start. Again, we have a few more meditations that we're doing today. So we're going to start with a shorter time and just kind of beginning with 2 minutes. And, when we begin meditation for the first time, it's really good to just start where we're at. So wherever, if we're brand new to meditation, it's good to just slowly build that time up over time so that we're not just jumping right into a 45-minute meditation. We're trying to build that stability, and we really see the benefit of meditation throughout time. The more consistent we keep showing up. So we're going to try for 2 minutes, and we want to make sure that our spine is really straight. We're sitting up straight in our, we're all sitting on the ground, but we can also, if you're at home and you need to be in a chair, that's fine too. Just that our spine is straight. And then we have our hands. This is more of a traditional position, as our hands in our lap with our right over the left with our thumbs touching like this. If it's more comfortable, you can also just put your hands on your thighs. And then we're going to be keeping our eyes open, but they're relaxed and they're gazing down towards the floor. Almost like a line from the bridge of your nose extending out to the floor, and resting your gaze somewhere on that line, wherever it feels comfortable to rest your gaze. And we just want to breathe naturally. So we're breathing naturally, and we're letting our mind rest on that breath. So today our focus is on our breath, and on your own time you can also focus on the flame of a candle or a flower, or maybe a picture of the Buddha, or a stone, or but today we're focusing on our breath, and our breath is always with us. So as we're breathing naturally, we also let a little bit of that breath come through the mouth as well. So we do that by putting the tip of our tongue on the back of our teeth, almost like we're saying the letter L. So again, our eyes are relaxed and open, our mouth is slightly open, we're breathing as naturally as possible. And whenever a thought arises, we're going to do our best to just let it go. When a thought arises, we just return again and again to the breath. So if a thought arises, almost like a bubble rising to the surface of the pond, we just let it pop and let it go. So our meditation isn't lost by having thoughts. It's when we go down the road with those thoughts, when we inspect them or judge them, and we let them build into other thoughts and to-do lists and all the things we have to do after this. So again, we're returning to the breath. We're training our mind to focus on the breath and to let everything else go. Your attention is like a feather gently riding the surface of your breath. So with that, we'll start with 2 minutes. This timer here. So now that was a little bit of our warm-up round. If you're finding that your mind feels very busy today, like if you felt like you didn't have a moment where your mind was resting, we can use just even imagining, cutting our thoughts and tossing the thought away, or taking, like a tong and tossing our thought. If those visual aids help you, sometimes if thoughts are very persistent, we can imagine that. But again, we're just returning to the breath. So we don't have to punish ourselves for feeling distracted. We're just returning to the breath. It's like a gentle, like, come on, come back. So again, we just do that again and again, and it gets easier doing that. So now we'll just extend our time a little bit and try again. Sorry, my computer is so loud. It's like a little jet engine over here. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we'll try that again. All right. If you need to stretch or have a sip of water, you can do that. All right. So now we're going to now that we've created some spaciousness and kind of have a calmer mind, we're going to do a meditation to really help develop the heart. And this is a practice called Tonglen, and it's a giving and receiving practice. And it's done to help develop our compassion and our ability to be present for our own suffering and the suffering of others. So this practice trains us to use the energy of loving kindness to open our hearts to suffering and to then transform it to well-being. So in this practice, we imagine taking the suffering of others into ourselves and sending them our happiness. And this is a mental exercise. In the immediate present, doing this meditation will not remove their suffering, but by doing this practice, we will gradually cease to cherish ourselves so much over others, So it's really extending that compassion to others. And it helps us develop a stronger wish to benefit beings. And eventually it leads to the ability to truly help beings with equanimity. And in that way, we'll actually really be able to, help give them happiness, help relieve their suffering. So we'll just stay again in our meditation posture. And we're going to start with something that will feel easier to do at first, which is envisioning one or two beings for whom you feel compassion easily. You easily love and compassion rises in your heart. This could be a parent, a sibling, a cat, a dog, a child, a friend, anyone in your mind that love just comes forth in your mind when you think of them. And anyone you feel, you would easily feel for them if they're, suffering in any way. So having that thought and having that intention, we're going to really contemplate their suffering. So imagining that you're standing in their shoes and how that would feel and what that experience might be like. And that letting that help you give rise to compassion. So you're cultivating a heart that is, you have this fervent wish to relieve their suffering, and to secure their happiness, to help bring about happiness. So then with that intention, we're bringing that intention to our breath by following the natural rhythm of our breath. So as we breathe in, as we inhale, we visualize that through our nose, we're inhaling through our nose, that we take in all the causes and conditions of their suffering. And we're taking that in almost like as a dark smoke, like black smoke. And then we're imagining that by doing that, we're completely freeing them from all their suffering, all their fear, all their sadness, any kind of thing that's troubling them. They're completely free of that. And then as we breathe out, we're visualizing that we're sending them and they are receiving all of this positive, loving qualities, all these inconceivable sources of enduring happiness. And we're imagining that as radiant, pure light. And it's bringing them limitless joy. So again, breathing in all that, the suffering, and then breathing out and giving all of this compassion and love. And so you might think, as you breathe in, may you be free from suffering. And as you exhale, may you be happy. So we're going to try that. And again, imagining someone or some being or animal that you have, just that's very easy to do. Mm-hmm. So we're going to try this for 3 minutes. Starting now. Okay. So now we're going to try this same exercise, same meditation, but this time we're going to imagine one or two people that we have aversion towards, that we have some sort of dislike, or maybe we have anger towards them. And this is where it can get harder to feel like we can do this exercise, because maybe there's something inside us that doesn't want this person to be happy, or maybe there's something inside us that just doesn't understand this person at all and understands their actions or what they're doing in their life, in the world. And, we are confused. And so this exercise is really helping us have compassion for every single living being, understanding that even in their own confused way, they too are trying to be happy. And in that way, this exercise, this Tonglen, can slowly chip away at our judgment towards our whatever it is, or aversion, or anger, or even maybe hate towards someone. So we're going to try this for 2 minutes, and just watch your mind as you do it, and see. And maybe it's something simple as you got in an argument with someone, and you have some tension between the two of you, and you want to again relieve that sadness or confusion, or relieve the suffering of that person, and then again send them and the situation all your loving kindness with that bright light. So we'll try it for 2 minutes. Just do your best. Starting now. All right. Now we're going to try this just by expanding that, again, expanding this out again to an even larger group that you might have any aversion towards or upset towards. We're just going to do this for 1 more minute, again, expanding that out to a larger group. And really the purpose of doing this is, as this meditation deepens and as our heart opens, we can just gradually increase the scope of our visualization to include larger groups of people, until all of our loving kindness and compassion truly embraces all beings throughout all existence. And it's really developing that deep sense of equanimity and equality and compassion for all. And knowing that we're all suffering in our own ways, and that everyone, even the people we don't think deserve any of our compassion, deserves that compassion. And again, it's a practice for us to just open our heart as much as we can. So we're going to try this for one more minute, just extending that out to a larger group of people. Just, we can even imagine, taking on just all the suffering of all the people in this world, of all beings, all their misery and suffering, and imagine taking that in almost like you're a filter for that, and you're extending all your love and compassion out. And there are so many beings and just people here in this country and in all places that are experiencing incredible amount of suffering and pain right now. And so if we can imagine that, we're taking that on and then just giving everything we can to them. And we're included in this. When we say all beings, that love we're also included in that love, in that compassion. So let's do this for one more minute. My timer won't go to 1 minute. It's stuck on 2 minutes. So we're going to do it for 2 minutes. There we go. So we're going to finish with a guided meditation to end our session. And this is a short guided meditation that was written by our teacher, Jetsama Akonlamo. It's called the Light Expansion Prayer. So again, you can just relax in your meditation posture. Okay. Let us become still. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Again. Let us center deep within. Center deep within. Deep within to the presence of the Absolute. And there is radiance. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the physical body And all of the physical body is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill all beings on all dimensions. And all that we are is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill everyone here. And everyone here on all dimensions is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this building. And all of this building is filled with the light of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this nation. And all the government of this nation is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. And all the people of this nation are one life. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace planet Earth. All nations and all governments are filled with the presence of the Absolute, and there is peace. And the 8 billion are one life, radiant. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill this galaxy. All planets, all stars, all life forms are within the embrace of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the universe. All dimensions and all kingdoms are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And in all the universe, there is only one life. Now, as we return our consciousness back to physical form, we continue to embrace all that is and to know union, that we are one. And with that, we are going to dedicate our whole intention of being here today, the virtue and the merit and blessings of doing this practice together. We're going to dedicate that for the benefit of all sentient beings. And on the back side of our paper, we have dedication prayers. I'll put these on the screen. There we go. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly, I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. Thank you all so much for joining us today and joining this new class that we have. Just again, incorporating Tonglen and the light expansion prayer. We will continue doing this every Saturday at 11 a.m. And 11 a.m. Eastern time for everyone online. And then tomorrow, we have a special schedule on Sundays now that start at 11:30, and our resident Kempo here, Kempo Karze, Jetsuma has asked him to do a meditation every Sunday and give a teaching as well. So he'll be doing that. He does a kind of an explanation of meditation. We'll meditate together, and then a teaching with Q&A. And then we'll do a short, it's called a Chinrezig practice, which is, kind of a 5 minutes at the end of class, like a mantra that we will recite together. So I encourage you all to join us tomorrow, 11:30. And we also, again, stream everything online as well for anyone not in the area. That will be online. And I'm going to end the live stream right now. Thank you all for joining. Bye.